big organization. It's having for every day it's having more than crores transaction in lakhs. Okay, so they want to manipulate with a large volume of data. Okay, so that we can use RDBMS to easily store and retrieve the information. So next, it provides security, high security. Like we can set like authorized people only can view the information. Also, we can stop the users to unauthorized users to view the data, and then easily accessible. So since the commands which we can give RDBMS is easy to understand, even in a simple way we can retrieve the information. That is the main purpose of RDBMS. Okay, so let me explain another way. So assume that in an university itself, we have 50,000, more than 50,000 students are there. Suppose that university wants to maintain that student details. If it is in a Word document, they can maintain Word document. Okay, suppose in future if they want to search a particular student's marks or department, they have to go through the whole document. Okay, instead of that, if you maintain an RDBMS, it will be very easy. Okay, let me explain in later how the data will be stored in RDBMS and how to retrieve the data. Okay. So, data is in RDBMS. Data will be stored in forms of tables. Tables means it will be in the Excel format, like rows and columns. Okay. Also, we can store any number of tables in a database. So, like we can store the related. Sorry.
Your presentation is not visible. Can you reshare it?
Okay.
Yeah, presentation is not.
Previously, it was shown.
Yeah, previously it was shown RDBMS slide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But voice is audible, no?
Yeah, voice is audible. Perfect.
Able to see now? Okay. Sorry. So basically, it will be in the form of rows and tables. Then in a single database, we can store many number of tables, like many number of interrelated tables. Interrelated is nothing but like when we take university itself, we can maintain the course in a separate table, and then we can maintain the student details who are studying in that course. Then these are interrelated tables. So any number of tables we can store in our RDBMS, which can be easily accessible. Okay. Next is let us see what is a table. Okay. A table is a collection of related entries and contains rows and columns. Okay. So table is nothing but it is a collection of informations in the form of rows and columns. Let me explain with sample. So for example, this is a table. So assume that if a company want to maintain their employee details, they can create the table in that way. So employee ID, name, their job designation, and the salary. Okay. So that employee ID name is called in columns, which are otherwise called as fields or attributes, and that informations like name, actual name, employee ID are called rows or records. So primary key is a key which is used to identify a particular row. Okay. For example, in an organization, a person called a name can be more than one person. Okay. So when you search for a particular Rahul, we cannot search it for using a name Rahul. Okay. So that I can use it their employee ID, like our student ID, we have unique columns. Like primary key is a unique column which is used to identify that particular row. Let me explain later in briefly. Then this is a sample for table. So let us take. My screen is visible, no? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. If any issues, will let me know.
Sure.
So assume that a particular organizations want to maintain the department details and employee details. They can create two tables like that. Okay. So table name is department and department ID, department name, shift time and head office. Okay. These are the four columns, and then this information can be stored, and the employees, sorry, the employees, those who are working in department can be maintained in another table, like employee ID, name. So department, see, in employee ID, department ID is the last column, which refers to the department ID in department table. Okay, see, we have department ID 10, 20, 30. So in 10, 20, 30, in 10 department, there are 2 employees, and 20 department, there are 2 employees. Okay, like that they can maintain. Okay. So these are the related tables. Like this kind of informations they can store. Also, they can maintain their purchase details, sales details. Okay. Also, they can do some more calculations. Okay. For a particular month, how much of purchase has happened, how much sales has happened, whether it is a profit or not. So that kind of analysis they can do using RDBMS. So any number of tables it can be stored. Next, we will see what is the keys. So basically keys are used to identify a particular rows in a table. So as I told already, so like for search a particular employee, we cannot search using name, because for a particular name there can be more employees. Okay, if you take Rahul, means there can be more 5 or 6 employees in that organization. So we cannot using that name. So that I can create a separate ID for that employees, which can be make it as a unique columns. Those columns are called as primary keys. So like that we have more keys. Let me explain what are the keys in a table in Oracle. So we have primary key, foreign key, unique key. Some more keys are there, but I am explaining here basic keys. So primary key is a column that uniquely identify each row in a table. It should not be blank and it should not be repeated. So when you make some key as a primary key, it should not be repeated, as well as it should not be it should not contain null values. Okay, like when you take employee ID, so when any employees joined, we should assign some ID for them. Okay, so when you make employee ID as a primary key, then it will not accept duplicate values, as well as it will not accept null values. Also in department table, we can make department ID as a primary key. Foreign key. So foreign key is a field or a column that is used to establish a link between two tables. So in a simple way, you can say that a foreign key in one table used to point primary key in another table, which means, see here, department is a main table. Okay. So under that, I'm maintaining employees, those who are working in the department. Okay. So in a department table, department ID is a primary key. In the employee table, employee ID is a primary key. So how can I relate these two tables? Using department ID. So in employee table, department ID refers the department ID in department table. Okay. I cannot give, so that I can make the link between employee department ID with the department ID. Okay, so that if you make relationship like that, so when you enter any data in employee table, if you give 10, 20, 30, it will accept. Okay, if you give 40 in employee table, it will not accept, because there is no master record in department table. Okay, it's like that we can make. Okay, here foreign key is a department ID in employee table. Okay, so employee is a child here, department is a parent table, and employee is a child table, because employee table refers department table. So we can call it as department is a parent table and employee is a child table. So always foreign key should be in the child table only, which refers the parent table. So here department ID in employee table is a foreign key, and which refers the department ID in department table. Okay. Also, a foreign key can be in the same table also, which can be occur in multiple scenario. Okay, I can give some example also. Next is a unique key. So when you make particular key as a primary key, it will not accept duplicate values as well as null values. Okay, in some scenario, you want to make a particular column should not be repeated, but it can be accept null values. Okay, let me explain some practical scenario. Okay, some employees joined. Okay, still you are not. Some employees joined based on the department. Employee ID creation logic is there. Okay, if employees in accounts department, it should start with A1, A2 like that. Okay, if employees in production department, ID will be P1, P2 like that. Okay, if one employee is joined, still the organization is not confirmed in which department is he will be allotted. Okay, so in that particular time, we can make that column as null. Employee ID can make it as a null, but it should not contain the existing value. Okay, so that until that we can make employee ID as a unique key. Okay, so basically unique key means it will accept duplicate values. It will not accept duplicate values, whereas it will accept null values. These are the major keys. Primary key is a unique key which is used to identify the particular record. Foreign key means, so key in a child table which refers to primary key in a parent table. Unique key means unique key is a key which accept null values but will not accept duplicate values. Okay. So these are the main keys. So when you create a new table, we should consider these points and all. Okay. So according to that criteria, you should understand what columns you can make it as primary key, what column you can make it as foreign key. So based on that, you should create a table. So next one is a data type. Okay. So data type is nothing but which refers what type of data you want to enter into that enter for a particular column. For example, so in department ID, you should accept only number values. Name column should accept alphabet values. Okay, if you have date of birth, then you should accept only date values. Okay, so like that we can set what type of data that particular column should accept. Okay? So using the data type, we can define that one. Also in Oracle, we have more data types. Just I given the basic data types which will be used to create a table. So number, character, varchar2 and date. Number means which accept only numeric values. Char and varchar2 are both are used to accept alphanumeric values. So we can give alphabetic values as well as numeric values. Like if you want to type address, it will contain number values as well as character values. For those kind of columns, we can use character. So char means the second one, char means it is a fixed data type. Okay. See, assume that I'm assigning, for example, I'm giving char of 10. Okay, which means for I'm assigning for name column, I'm giving char of 10 means for name column we can give maximum of 10 characters. Okay, maximum of 10 characters we can give. If I give Rahul means it will accept it have only 5 characters. Okay, so remaining 5 characters will be always wasted. Okay, because it is a fixed for name column, for each and every column it accept it already it stored as 10 characters. Even if I give Rahul means 5 memory spaces will be allotted and remaining 5 spaces will be wasted. Okay, that is char. So instead of that, we can use varchar2. Varchar2 means variable characters. Based on the input you are giving, it will be changed. If I give varchar2 of 10 means maximum we can give 10. If I give Rahul means it will accept 5 values. Remaining 5 space is there, no empty space that will be used for next column. Okay, so for memory spaces, it differs. Okay, date which accept date values. For date of birth, date of joining, we can use date type. It will be in the form of DDMON YYY, which means 10 APR 2022, like that. Okay. That is a default format. We can give any format, but we should mention what type of format you are giving to Oracle. If I give 10/04/22, then I should inform to Oracle, I'm giving the format as DD/MM/Wi-Fi, because the basic is DDMON YYY. If you give another format, you should explicitly inform to Oracle, I'm going to give my date value in that format. Okay, that format we should mention. So these are the basics. Basic things you should remind when you create a new table. Next we will see what is SQL. Okay, so now everything is set. Okay, you want to create some employee table, you want to store some information, department table, you want to input department details. Okay, so how can we communicate with Oracle? Okay, so for that SQL is used. So SQL is a actually the definition for SQL is structure query language, which contains set of statements which can be given to Oracle to interact with the database. Okay. So if anything want to work with Oracle, so we can use SQL command. Okay. Like how to create a table, how to insert the data, how to retrieve the data, how to remove the table itself. Everything we should use SQL. Okay. For each and everything, there is a predefined format. Using that format, we can interact with Oracle. So basic use of SQL is insert, update, delete the data from relational database. Also, SQL allows users to retrieve the data from the relational database management system. So that is the main purpose. Okay, to interact with the table, so we can use SQL commands. So there are 4 types of SQL commands: DDL, DML, and DQL and TCL. So DDL is nothing but data definition language. Data definition language is nothing but it works on the structure of the table. Structure of the tables means how to create a new structure, how to alter the structure, how to remove the structure. Alter the structures means suppose you created name column as by mistake number data type. Okay, so later you identified it should be created as a varchar 2. So that kind of alteration we can do. Also, if you do not want to maintain that particular table, we can remove the table also. We can change the name of the table. Okay, it will not act on the information inside the table. So data definition is act on structure of the table. Okay, those are create, alter, rename, truncate, and drop. Next is DML. DML means data manipulation language. Those are insert, update, and delete. Insert is nothing but inserting a records into the table. Update means to make some changes in the data informations. So you given name Rahul by mistake RAUL, and then you committed the data also. Later you want to change the name or you want to increment the salary, anything. If you want to update the information, we can use update statement. Delete means to remove particular record. Okay. So update and delete can be work on the entire data, or you can manipulate a particular record. Okay, using a special, we have some special classes Using that, we can update the whole record at a time, or we can, if you want to update a particular record, for that also it is possible in SQL. The next is a structure query language, which is select. Select means to retrieve the information. So we can view the full information using select query, or we can view the particular columns. Just you want to see employee ID and salary alone. That kind of view also we can do. Or we can do particular row. Column wise also we can see, and the row wise also we can see. That is a select statement. Next is a TCL. TCL means transaction control language. So that's our commit, rollback, and save back. Commit is nothing but save. Rollback is nothing but undo. Okay. So you inserted all employee details, like thousands of employees you inserted. At last you want to save the data. So once you all the insertions completed, you should give commit. Okay, then everything will be saved in a permanent storage until it will be in buffer. Until and unless you give commit, it will be stored in a temporary buffer. Once you close, suppose by mistake if you close that oracle, it will not be saved. Okay, so any DML languages, anything DML, when you work on DML languages, you should give commit. Data definition is a auto commit. For those SQLs, no need to give commit. Okay, by default it will be committed automatically. But when you work on data manipulation, you should give commit the data. Rollback means for undo the transaction. Okay, suppose you inserted thousands of transaction, at last if you give rollback means all 1000 insertion will gone. Save point means it's a particular point of place you want to save. Okay, assume that you have 1000 insertion. Okay, but till 500 you want to save, then later from 500 to 1000 you want to get confirmation from particular person. Later on only you want to decide whether it should be committed or rollback. Okay, so the 1 to 500 you are sure you want to commit. Okay, then 500 to 1000 you have some clarification. So what I can do, I can, after 1 to 500 I can create some save point. Okay, then after that until after that 1000 entries you can save until that save point, or you can, if you give commit means until that save point will be committed, or if you give rollback until that save point from 100 and 2000 only rollback. Okay, that is a like partially you want to commit and roll back the transaction, we can use save point. So these are the SQL commands. Using these commands only we can interact with Oracle. Okay, let me explain how to create, how to use data definition language. Okay, so directly I given sample. Okay, so we have a syntax. Okay, for each and every statements we have a syntax. Instead of explaining syntax, I'm giving direct statement samples. Okay, so already we seen here. Now we want to create two tables: department with the 4 columns and employee with the 5 columns. Here, department table, department ID is a primary key. Keep it in mind. And employee table, employee ID is a primary key, and department ID is a foreign key, which refers department ID in department table. Is it clear now? Then I will explain you how to create these two tables and how to make relationship between those two tables during creation of table itself. Okay, first table, parent table is a department. Here a department ID, data type is number, primary key, department name, varchar2 of 20, not null. Okay, this is another constraint. When you make not null means it will name, it will not accept null values. Okay, shift time and head office. So this is department parent table is ready. Then next I want we can create employee table. Here employee ID is a primary key. Other columns are given: employee name, post, salary, department ID, number. Actually, this department ID should reference this department ID in department table. Okay, that is what I given. Foreign key references. Foreign key is a keyword. References also keyword which refers department ID of department table. This is the method of making relationship between these two tables. Okay. So now two tables are created. Next statement is alter. We have five columns in employee table. Next, they want to create date of birth column. Okay, after creating the table, if you want to make any changes in that structure, we should go for alter statement. Okay, like adding a new column,